Plenty of sunshine, please. Also, big plea, hang on to your children. I understand, Andy, after a Red Arrows display, there are an enormous number of lost children. Yes. Is that true?
Such is the spectacular nature of the Red Arrows that we have noticed from the feedback and the centre behind us that occasionally a few children do go missing after the show. It only takes 5 seconds for little boys and girls to walk away, so keep hold of your children, please, and I'm sure they will be equally dazzled by the wonderful display we're shortly about to see from squad leader Mike Ling and the Red Arrows.
So, Bournemouth, Boscombe, Christchurch, Poole, are you ready for the Red Arrows? Well, you'll be glad to know they are coming very shortly.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Ladies and gentlemen, please give a huge welcome to Red 10.
Well, a very good afternoon to you, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls. I'm squad leader Mike Ling. I'm Red 10. I'm the supervisor with the Royal Air Force aerobatic team, the Red Arrows. I'll be talking you through this afternoon's display and getting your eyes and cameras pointing in the right direction so you get to enjoy every last minute of it. Well, the boys are airborne from Bournemouth Airport. I've just checked in with Red 1 and they're going to be on time to start the display at 10 past. So we'll get ready for what hopefully will be a fabulous full display in this beautiful sunshine here in Bournemouth this afternoon. Now, for those of you that are here yesterday, you will have seen that we flew our display as an 8-aircraft formation. We do practice our loser plans. That's to take care if any of the pilots go sick or the aircraft are broken, we can fly with one of the pilots not in the display. And yesterday, we flew without Red 3 in the display. For those of you who saw the BBC 2 documentary Inside the Bubble, you'll remember in that Red 3's wife announced that she was expecting a baby. And just before the display yesterday, Joe Hurston, Red 3, got the phone call saying that his wife had gone into labour. So he had to dash up to Scampton to go and be alongside his wife while she was delivering their second child. Well, I can tell you now that poor old Sarah is still in labour. So I've got no news to announce about a baby, I'm afraid. She's still in labour, and I'm afraid Red 3 is not with us again today. So you're going to see an 8-ship display again here at the Bournemouth Air Festival this afternoon. So they'll be running in about 2 minutes' time. They're going to be in a formation called Amateur Big Battle, that 8 aircraft Big V. The jets will be around 20 feet away from each other. They'll be flying at 400 miles an hour. And I'm hoping that this cloud is high enough for Red 1 to lead a full display so we can fly our looping manoeuvres here in the wonderful sunshine. Well, it's a very special year for the Red Arrows. It is, in fact, our 50th display season. And in those 50 seasons, the team have performed over 4,500 public displays in 56 countries. We're very proud and honoured to represent the very best of British, both at home and overseas. So I'm just trying to check in with Red 1. My radio's not getting a good reception at the moment, but they have told me they're on time. Now, boys and girls, I have been a Red Arrows display pilot myself. I do know that when the pilots fly past, they will be able to see you waving. So when I tell you I want your arms in the air, lots of waves, and then we can clap and cheer and transmit it over my radio to the pilots so they can hear how much you're enjoying yourselves. So about 45 seconds to go now. Is everybody ready for the Red Arrows? Oh, that's good. If we can make it even louder, then they might even hear you without me using my radio. They can hear you while they're flying past at 400 miles an hour. We'll see. And Red 1 has just said he's going to start with the full display, ladies and gentlemen. So why don't we get those vocal cords warmed up? Let's have some big clapping, big cheering, as I give you the Royal Air Force aerobatic team, the Red Arrows.
Show Simon, go. 6, 7.
You'll now see the jets collapse to around 6 to 8 feet away from each other as they form a short diamond formation. The jets reach a mile above us. They're led by Red 1 squadron leader Jim Turner. It's his third and final year as the team's leader. He's a former Jaguar pilot. He's very experienced in the display world, having displayed the Jaguar. Spent 3 years previously with the Red Arrows, including leading the synchro pair. And he's also been the official advisor to the Royal Saudi Air Force's display team. And you can listen in to Red 1 now. You hear Reds 2 and 3 now, 2 and 5 acknowledge the move to Eagle. They do so very metronomically so that they can have a cadence set up which enables them to extend and retract their air brakes in time so that the 3 aircraft on the right wing and the 2 on the left wing can drop back in unison to form Eagle, ready for the Eagle roll.
Out. Easy. Up. Slow time. Go. And roll.
Well, the jets are about to go upside down. This is where the pilots will see you, everybody. Let's give them a big wave. When the Red Arrows formed back in 1964, ready for that first season in 1965. The aircraft the team used was the Folland Gnat, and that was the advanced jet trainer in the Royal Air Force in that era. But in 1976, the Hawker Siddeley Hawk entered service with the Royal Air Force, and in 1980, the Red Arrows began to use the Hawk as their aerobatic aircraft, and it's still the aircraft we use today. Red 4's just moved forward slightly to show us another shape, more of that in a minute. But a bit more about the Hawk now. It's been used since 1976 as an advanced trainer. It's a very successful aeroplane. It's been sold to 19 countries across the world. Out to the front left now, the smoke's on. This shape is flanker. Another formation shape change now. Reds 2, 4 and 5 move forward onto Red 1's wing. 8 and 9 move to the outsides of the formation to give us a very wide shape. So to enable them to manoeuvre the formation as one as they fly around the sky. The pilots have to anticipate their control inputs, and they do so by using the cadence in Red 1's voice command. So listen in for that in a minute. But now let's have a huge round of applause with some patriotic red, white and blue in Phoenix.
Right. Now.
Listen to that cadence in Red 1's voice.
Holding the bank. Now. First off, go.
On the leader's right wing is the first of our 2 new pilots this year. He's Red 2, Flight Lieutenant Stu Campbell. Stu is a former instructor on the Tucano aircraft. You'll see it display here later. That's what we use to teach our basic fast jet training. Operationally, Stu flew the Tornado GR4. Now, out to the right, we've got a bit of a lopsided trademark shape, and all 8 jets are going to smoke in the diamond roll.
Up. Close on. Go. And roll.
Let's have another big wave, everybody. Now, our formations are flown with the odd-numbered pilots on the left-hand side and the even-numbered pilots fly on the right-hand side. In their 3-year tour with the team, the pilots start at the front, near the leader, and as their proficiency improves, they move further back. Normally now, I would talk about Red 3, who's Flight Lieutenant Joe Hurston. I mentioned him earlier, and you'll remember that he is not in the formation, which is why it's lopsided. He's at home in Lincoln, tending to his wife Sarah, who is delivering their baby. So Joe is a former Hawk instructor and Tornado pilot. Can't be with us today, but please let's all bear them both in mind as she delivers their second baby. Out to the left now, the smoke's gone off. The boys have formed a very iconic shape. This is of the supersonic airliner, ready for the Concorde loop.
Close on. Go. And pulling. Up.
pulling up at 400 miles an hour and 4G. Another formation shape change now. As the jets reach 6,000 feet above us, they slow down to about 150 miles an hour. You can see they formed a lopsided feathered arrow shape. Well, back in the 60s, they decided that feathered arrow was a bit of a mouthful to say on the radio. So we now call this formation Fred.
Coming left now. Holding the bank now. Flip off, go. Letting it out. Rolling out.
Well, that is the end of the first half of the Red Arrows display, ladies and gentlemen, where you've seen all 8 aircraft together flying close formation aerobatics. We're now going to split down into sections of 2, 3, 4 or 7 aircraft and show you some more dynamic manoeuvring. At the front of the formation at the moment are Reds 1, 2, 4 and 5. Normally would be a 5-ship, and they are called Enid after Enid Blyton's famous 5. And at the back, Reds 6, 7, 8 and 9, who are known as Jippo. Jippo is the nickname of the gentleman who first led the back 4 when the Red Arrows started flying 9-ship displays officially in 1968. Out to the front, they formed that very wide phoenix shape again, and let's get the cameras ready. Pulling up in Phoenix, keep your eyes on the synchro pair with the blue smoke underneath.
Now, one right.
This is the Palm Splits. On the left, with his blue smoke going off, is Red 6. He's the leader of the synchro pair, Flight Lieutenant James McMillan. He's in his 3rd year with the team. He's a former Hawk instructor and Harrier pilot. On the left, he's followed by Red 8. Looking right with the smoke on is Red 7, chased down by Red 9. These 4 aircraft are now closing at 850 miles an hour. Cameras ready now. This is the amazing Jippo pass. The synchro pair now leave their smoke on. They're turning away from us at 6G, or 6 times the force of gravity. That means everything in their bodies weighs 6 times more than normal. These pilots work hard to counter the G-force. They're going to point back towards us and fly the Cyclone.
At the cloud right threshold point, 150 feet. Stop your air visual.
As the synchro pair slingshot out to the front, you need to look to your left for Enid.
One good timing. Enid, focus. Go, get down.
The wings of Enid drop down to form an inverted V shape. If you look to your right, appearing now is a lone jet. His smoke's about to come on. This is Red 9, who's going to perform the Goose.
Coming.
Climbing very steeply with a red, white and blue stripe is Red 9. He's Flight Lieutenant Mike Child. It's his 3rd and final year with the team. He's a former Hawk instructor, Hawk display pilot. Operationally, he flew the Typhoon. You'll see it displayed later, the Royal Air Force's new multi-role combat aircraft. Now you need to look directly to the front to find the synchro pair. They pull up in line astern at 500 miles an hour and 5 times the force of gravity. They reach a height of 7,000 feet. The white smoke comes on as they get ready to draw their heart. Now, please keep your eyes to the top left of the heart. You'll see another jet approaching who's red 8, who's going to add a spear. Flight Lieutenant Martin Pert, third and final year with the team. A Hawk instructor, Hawk display pilot, and Harrier pilot. Ladies and gentlemen, red 6, 7 and 8 with their heart and spear. Now, back in 2011, we attended an 18th birthday party at the hotel here in Bournemouth. There's a young lady named Vicky York who is celebrating her 18th birthday while recovering from cancer treatment she'd had since 2007. And very sadly, the cancer returned in 2012, and I'm sorry to say that Vicky lost her brave battle and passed away earlier this year. The Red Arrows would like to dedicate this heart to Vicky and her family, and to her parents, Judy and Tony, and a happy birthday to Tony. So, Vicky, Judy and Tony, that's for you. Now, front for the opposition barrel roll. Look to your right now, you'll see Enid are being joined by Reds 8 and 9. They pull up in a 6-ship Vixen formation.
Coming. Left. Now.
Red 1 now twist this loop towards us through 90 degrees in a quarter clover.
Holding the bank. Now.
Now get your cameras ready. This is going to be a great shot.
Break, go.
This is the vertical break. Left and right again now for the synchro pair. This time, red 6 comes from our right and red 7 from our left. They're closing at 800 miles an hour. They're going to cross 3 times in opposing 360-degree 6G turns. Here they come now for the carousel. They're pulling 6G to avoid each other. Now watch, the pilots will swap their smoke colour using the individual colour control buttons on the aircraft's control column.
Good timing. Even, slow from, go. Easy. Up. Colour on, go. And roll.
Look over towards Studland to Old Harry's Rocks. Enid are in a shape called Leader's Benefit. They're drawing a red, white and blue snake-like shape of smoke in the sky as they fly the Python.
Holding the bank now. All bank. Holding. That's all. Good. And roll.
On the far right of that Leader's Benefit shape is red 4. He's Flight Lieutenant Ollie Parr, second-year pilot with the team. He's a former Tornado pilot, but he's also been an instructor flying the Hawk at Royal Air Force Valley on the Isle of Anglesey, where we train our advanced flying students. So the Python finishes out to our left. Just bring your eyes a bit further round towards Boscombe Pier. You'll see Jippo.
Smoke off, go. Jippo, smoke on, go. Good timing, boss. Six, rolling, in.
Red 6 and 7 now roll upside down.
8 and 9, roll, go.
This is the corkscrew.
Rolling.
Red 7 there working hard, flying his jet only 8 feet away from Red 6, but doing it while he's upside down. Now look left to find Enid.
Timing, just go, slow off, go. Even, slow on, go. 2 and 3, roll. Good.
Red 2 rolls it to the outside, then the 4 and 5 will match in the rollbacks.
Go.
Enid finished their rollbacks. Keep your eyes down to the right-hand side. You'll see the 4 headlights of Jippo.
Enid, smoke on, go. Jippo, smoke on, go. Good table. 6, rolling in.
Once again, red 6 and 7 roll upside down. Now 8 and 9 match them underneath. From the right, this is the mirror pass. Now let's give them a big wave as they fly past upside down, everybody. Red 6 gives the command for them to widen to the left. But now look right, 45 for Enid.
Good timing. Jippo, smoke off, go. Enid, smoke off, go. 5, roll, good.
Reds 1, 2 and 4 with their white smoke on in Vic. Now starts the rolls a dozen times around the rest of Enid.
Right, now.
This is the Twister.
Holding tight. Now tight. Big. 26 plus 1018.
With his red smoke on, getting very dizzy is red 5. He's Flight Lieutenant Steve Morris. He's a second-year pilot with the team. He's a former Hawk instructor. Operationally, Steve flew both the Harrier GR9 and the Tornado GR4 before donning his red suit last year. So now look directly to the front to find Jippo.
Smoke off, go. Jippo, smoke on, go. 8 and 9, roll, go.
Reds 8 and 9 pitch up to roll around 6 and 7 before they split in the Jippo break. With his smoke changing from blue to white on the right-hand side is red 7, synchro number 2, Flight Lieutenant Mark Lawson. It's Mark's second year with the team, and his background is solely on the Tornado GR4, where he spent 3 tours, flying over Iraq, Afghanistan and Libya, and becoming a qualified weapons instructor. So with 6 on the left, 7 on the right, the synchro pair descend for the final maneuver of the display. This is known as the double rolls. Ladies and gentlemen, please put your hands together for the synchro pair. Now look directly to the front, where you'll see Enid are being joined by Reds 8 and 9 for the display's finale. They're back in that 6-ship Vixen formation. Get your cameras ready. This is the Vixen break.
Break, break, go.
We're the Royal Air Force aerobatic team, the Red Arrows. Red 1 puts his smoke on. He's going to gather all 9 aircraft together. And they're going to recover to Bournemouth Airport, where our team of engineers will now service the jets, ready for our transit up to Harden Airport near Chester, as we get ready for a second display this afternoon at the Rill Air Show in North Wales. But you're going to see the team come to the right very shortly, and they're going to give us one last fly past before they head back. So they'll be coming in from the right-hand side in just a couple of minutes' time. So you can see them forming out directly to the front. They'll come in from our right in just a couple of minutes' time. Just an extra one, Red 1 has asked me to say hello to family friend Jill Large. So hello to Jill from Red 1. Out to the front, you can see they're forming that battle shape, which is what they arrived to start the display. But to make it a bit more symmetrical for this fly past, we're going to fly in pyramid formation. So Red 6 will now fly directly behind the leader, and that evens up the wings to give you a more symmetrical photograph without Red 3 here. But this time you'll see that the jets have their air brakes extended. The air brake is a panel that we put out, and it hangs down at the back of the jet, so you eagle-eyed amongst you will see the air brake hanging down at the back of each aircraft. And that creates drag and slows the aircraft down. But to keep us at the right speed, we need to have a higher power setting. And that high power setting means the engine is hotter, and therefore we get more densely coloured smoke. The smoke is produced by injecting diesel fuel into the aircraft's 400-degree engine exhaust, and that makes it vaporise. The white smoke is pure diesel, and to get the red and blue, we add a dye to the diesel, and we can carry 5 minutes of white smoke and a minute each of red and blue in each of the aircraft. So you'll see that really nice, deep red and blue colour as they come along to give us this pyramid fly past in a minute or two's time. And this will be a good photograph, so please share it on our Facebook page, RAF Red Arrows, or on our Twitter page, @RAF Red Arrows. Two of the pilots are actually on Twitter, myself @RAF Red 10 and Red 8 is @RAF Red 8. Feel free to follow us, share your photographs from the Bournemouth Air Festival with us. Now, ladies and gentlemen, everyone on the beach between Bournemouth and Boscombe, everyone up here by the wonderful John Egging Memorial up on the East Cliff, what I'd like you to do, please, when they come past with their coloured smoke come on, I will raise my left hand with the radio in it and I will press the transmit button. And then you can give the biggest clap and cheer you can possibly give, and then the pilots will hear how much, hopefully, you've enjoyed the display. Does that sound like a plan? OK, it's really not a very good radio. We have to be a lot louder than that. Here we are. It's the Royal Air Force Aerobatic Team, the Red Arrows. Well, there you go, ladies and gentlemen. That concludes 4 days of the Red Arrows at the Bournemouth Air Festival. We'd like to thank Michelle and Morgan Sindel for supporting the Red Arrows and bringing them to the Air Festival this year. One last mention, Bournemouth is a very fond place for the Red Arrows, especially after the tragic events of 2011 when, sadly, Red 4 at the time, Flight Lieutenant John Egging, lost his life on recovery after the Saturday display into Bournemouth Airport. Now, John's family have set up a trust in his name, the John Egging Trust, and the John Egging Trust has been set up to raise money to enable young people to achieve their aims. It's a very successful trust, but it does need your support. Please visit the John Egging Trust tent in the Royal Air Force Village, find out what the trust has been up to and how you can support them. Well, ladies and gentlemen, I hope you've enjoyed the display. Thank you very much for watching and for listening. It's been a pleasure talking to you. I hope you enjoy the rest of this wonderful weather and the displays you've got lined up. You're going to have a great time. I wish you all the very best on behalf of the Royal Air Force and from everybody at the Red Arrows. See you next year.
Well, thank you very much indeed, Squadron Leader Mike Ling there. An outstanding presentation, a really superb display as always, and in what magnificent weather it is. Well, we're going to switch action very shortly down to the beach for the Royal Marine Commando display. Then we'll be back here at about 1:20 for more action in the sky. But I'm delighted that Squadron Leader Mike Ling there gave an introduction to the John Egging Trust, because I'm going to switch across now to our good friends at Air Festival TV, where I believe John's parents are with Andy Marler. Andy.
George, thank you very much, and a spectacular start to a sensational Sunday with the RAF Aerobatic Display Team. I'm joined now by Dawn Egging, of course, and well, welcome back to Bournemouth. Dawn, how are you?
I'm fine, thank you.
A fantastic display.
To be back. Oh, I can't tell you how proud I feel just watching the boys. It's a wonderful feeling watching them. Everyone feels the same, but for us particularly, and with Lingy there just saying a few words about us, fantastic, and I'm so proud to be a mum of one of those boys.
Well, you know, we spoke to Emma a little earlier in the week as well, and you know, every single day we've been really trying to get the message of the John Egging Trust out and the wonderful work, and over 100 young people now you've helped. Explain the work of the trust.
Well, we set the trust up in John's name after